Hey guys, what's up, how's it going? Robin here, welcome back for another video. In today's video, I'm going to be focusing on my Canadian-based stock portfolio and Wealth Simple Trade. So like usual, I'll show you guys what stocks I'm going to be buying, I'll give you guys a portfolio update, and I'll talk about some other things that are going on in the stock market world. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and give the video a big thumbs up, it really helps out. Let's jump inside the portfolio and let's see how our stocks are doing. Alright guys, what's up? Welcome back inside the portfolio update. Got lots of stuff to talk about today, so we'll go through this as quickly as possible here. So first things first, we'll give you guys an overview of the portfolio. I'll show you guys how our stocks have been doing here for the past week or two or so. So here's our account here in Wealth Simple Trade. We have $112,000. It's been kind of hovering around there, give or take, for the past week or so. Once again, personal account about $18,000, just under $19,000, and our big old-fashioned TFSA is about $93,000. The TFSA is obviously the biggest account. The one-day return since this morning is down at negative $400, so not too much happening today. For the past week, it's kind of been up and down a lot of days where we'd open up negative and then it basically finishes up positive, etc. kind of thing. So not too much going over the past week. It's pretty flatlined. I guess we're up about $122. Not even 0%. The past month, we are up about 5%. So nice gain in the markets overall for the past month for our TFSA. That's pretty significant. Pretty steady, started off early in the month and we've seen a couple jumps up, and then it's kind of been more or less a small increase from there. Past 3 months is kind of more or less the same. 1 year return is sitting at currently about 0, so that's actually it doesn't look good, but we did see a big dip in the market at the beginning of 2022, so that's actually not too bad. And then all-time return, it is 11%. So we can see kind of towards the end there is a bit of a recovery happening here as predicted. Once again, who knows what will happen? We still have about a month left or so. We could see a big jump up, or things could just stay the way they are, and then maybe in the beginning of next year we'll see a jump up, or maybe things will crash even more. Nobody really knows, so that's kind of just the way it is. If you guys don't know, the TFSA is focused more on US stocks. I guess I'll do a bit of a dive here since this is kind of like the end of the month / beginning of the month video. So once again, TFSA is VFE favored, lots of US stocks, lots of growth stocks with a little bit of Canadian stocks sprinkled in as well, and then some different higher yield companies and whatnot. So that's kind of the TFSA. It's more focused on the US market, so that's why it works a little bit different from the personal account. The personal account is a little bit more focused on Canadian stocks and dividend stocks as well as yields. Most specifically just because as we move into the territories of once we start maxing out our tax advantage accounts, the personal account is tax favored when it comes to dividends. And since we're kind of focused on dividend stocks, it kind of makes a lot of sense. This is something I'm going to talk about further as we go through the videos. Our current goal is to max out my fiance's TFSA as well as put some money in my personal account here and there. So that's kind of what we're doing for the time being. But, lots of Canadian stocks inside the personal account. And we'll go through this as when I talk about what stocks I'm actually looking to buy in today's video. So we'll cover that a little bit later. But the personal account, in terms of performance overall, has done more or less the same. 1 month return is 3%, 3 month return is 2%, 1 year return is -1%, and then all time the personal account is up 2%. And this account was started in the beginning of April 23rd, 2021, and it's been more or less a pretty consistent rise since the Canadian markets have done quite well. We've seen a little bit of a decrease here, but nonetheless, a nice little jump up over the past, since I would say like maybe September or October, towards the end of September, we've seen the Canadian markets kind of jump up nicely there. So it's been actually pretty good. So that's a quick little overview of the portfolios. Let's continue on with the video. Before we go any further, I just want to mention really quickly, if you guys want to see my entire stock portfolio, be sure to check out the links in the description of this video. That'll take you to Blossom Social. Blossom Social is an app that I've been promoting, I've been working with, and I've been doing all kinds of cool things with. You guys can actually go in there, see my entire portfolio, and I do post on there from time to time. So if you guys want to look at my holdings in more depth and see everything I hold and see all the trades that I do in real time, be sure to check out Blossom Social. And before we go any further, I just want to mention really quickly, in case you guys didn't know, I did make a post on Blossom the other day talking about TD raising its dividend. Some of the Canadian banks, actually most of the Canadian banks, posted their earnings. Some of them did good, some of them didn't. In this article, it only talks about RBC and TD, but you guys can look them up, whichever ones you guys hold. But my favorite is TD, of course, and TD actually did really, really well. So TD Bank and RBC Bank released their earnings this week, as well as some of the other Canadian banks. RBC grew its earnings by 2% and hiked its dividend by 3.2%, which, all things considered, is, I guess, okay, but you got to keep in mind some of the banks work in different ways. Like interest rates kind of seem to definitely favor TD Bank, and RBC obviously raised its dividend by 3.2%, isn't great, but I'm not super familiar with the way RBC makes its earnings, so obviously the current climate and different things can affect that. But TD grew its earnings by 76%, which is actually pretty nuts, and raises dividend by 8%. So once again, really good, solid, consistent dividend increases. And if they grew their earnings by 76%, I mean, I'm sure good things are going to come from TD. And it also mentions here, TD has a large pending US deal that will increase its non-Canadian income, diversifying risk from Canadians' housing market. And this is the big thing. I think this is the big thing that TD is doing that's very smart. Once again, I always mention this multiple times, they're expanding into the US, and once again, getting more US income, kind of, going over to different areas, so that if the housing market does kind of do crappy over the next couple of years, they're going to keep growing. And that's how TD has been doing their business, and it's very smart. So let's jump inside the backside of the portfolio, but I just want to give you guys a quick little update on that. So obviously with the banks posting their earnings, I think it was a good opportunity to focus on the bank stocks. So I wanted to show you guys that dividend increase, to talk about TD. TD has been a pretty good stock for me. We have $278 to invest in today. So we're going to be picking 2 Canadian stocks as well as an ETF to buy into today. And the first stock I'm going to be focusing on is going to be TD stock, sorry. So once again, it's my favorite bank stock. We'll go through here. I'll give you guys an update. So I actually hold about, we have 24.8 shares of TD inside of the personal account. We could actually do a quick little recap of both of them. So in the TFSA, we have 40 shares. We're up about 26%. Absolutely crazy, right? It's killing it. And inside the personal account, we are up about 6%. So it's been doing pretty good for us. I'm going to put about I'm going to buy about maybe 1 share. So we'll buy 1 share of TD. We'll put that through. And that's going to be one of our stocks we're going to be buying today. So we'll put that through. TD is going to be the one stock we're going to be buying. And then the second stock we're going to be focusing on is another big one here, and that's going to be ATD. So if you guys already don't know, ATD actually increased its dividend too. So ATD is a really good growth-based company. I'm going to head on over to Dividend History. It's the main website I like to do to kind of keep track of dividend increases. And ATD is top of the list. I actually just noticed it this morning. They raised their dividend by 27.3%, which is, once again, pretty huge increases. Obviously, it's a low percentage, right? We see it's only 0.91%, so it's not a good yield. But percentage-wise, if you guys are investing in the stock, that's going to accumulate and make some pretty crazy gains, especially since it is a growth-based company. So obviously, you're not getting yield right now, but that yield is growing, and it's really going to help you just get that growth as the company continues to grow. And I mean, if they're increasing their dividend by 27% every single year, it seems like look at this, the past couple years here, just 25% increase, 25% increase, that's absolutely crazy. So obviously the company is doing pretty good, and its payout ratio is still relatively low because they've had super good earnings for the past couple years. 2021 was really good for them. 2022 is showing to be very good for them. There's a lot of deals. They're setting up all kinds of cool things both internationally as well as in Canada. So once again, ATD, Alimentation, Couche-Tard, just killing things. And if we go inside our portfolio, we'll do a quick little recap on ATD. So we hold 37 shares in my TFSA, up about 24%. And then the personal account, 21 shares, up about 23%. So we're going to buy about, let's say about 1 share or so of ATD. We'll put that through there, and that's going to be the second stock we're going to buy. So pretty conservative, pretty safe plays. But you can't go wrong with those companies. I just think they're really solid, and you don't have to worry too much about things going wrong with them. We've seen things like with AQN, for example, the past little while, we've seen some big dips, which, by the way, I still think AQN is a good stock. Watch my last couple videos. I share my thoughts on this. I'm going to continue to hold it. I'm going to continue to reinvest in dividends, and I will buy it here and there and just take advantage of it. But it's going to be something I'm going to kind of slow down a little bit, but we're going to just keep our eye on it. And the second thing we're going to be buying is, once again, we're building up our passive income streams for some of our covered calls. Inside the personal account, we could buy HYLD. I'm obviously probably going to hold HYLD inside my TFSA as time goes on. I think that's the most effective way to use it, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to kind of wait and see how things go. I still got to do more research on that, but I obviously know I did look up HDiv, and they do have a lot of eligible dividends, so it makes a lot of sense for the covered calls to be in a personal account, but I'm not too sure. That is something I'm going to have to research more, but I do want to buy more HDiv since it is a small holding size portfolio. So we will put about, I don't know, we'll put the rest of the money into there. We'll spread that into HDiv, and then inside my TFSA, I think I have a couple bucks, so I'll just put it towards something inside there. But those are the main stocks I'm going to be focusing on today. Little combination of growth, dividend, as well as some higher yields. So hopefully you guys like that, and like usual, share your thoughts in the comment section. And a quick little recap on my dividends over the past week. Quick little update here. I don't think we have anything big here. Our last few dividends came in the beginning of November. I think December is going to be a pretty big month for the portfolio because we didn't get a lot of dividends in November. So it's the first right now, or second actually, of doing this video, but these dividends came in on the 1st. So Canadian Tower gave us a small dividend. It's a small holding I'm looking to grow over time inside the portfolio. And then we have Fortis gave us a dividend of 9.74 cents. So that was a little bit bigger. We don't have a huge position of Fortis, but we have, I think it was like $1,000 or $2,000 or something like that. Gave us a nice dividend, and Fortis is a nice conservative utility stock. So it's about $10 so for December. We'll jump over inside the spreadsheet and I'll give you guys an update on the monthly dividends and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so here's the monthly dividend income for the portfolio. You know, I like to cover this in every single video just in case you guys can I like to view it myself just to remind myself how well, how far I've come from, and just to inspire myself as time goes on. And hopefully if you guys are new and you guys are seeing this, or if you're just a regular viewer, you can get some inspiration for this. Basically, the whole idea is to kind of see how our dividends have grown over time inside the portfolio. I've shown you guys the stock growth, so you've seen how the stocks have grown, the portfolio has grown over time, even in big dips, because we started this portfolio at the beginning of January 2020. So we went through the big COVID dip, we went through the little bit of a dip we had this year, and we're still doing fine. And that's the whole point of this type of investing, right? You're kind of doing a combination of everything, but you're benefiting from overall growth in terms of dividends as well as stock growth. So we scroll down here, it's been quite a, we're on month number 36. It's been quite a while. November, I haven't updated December yet, so you can put about $10 there if you want. So far it's nothing big. I'll update it in the next video, but you can see here for October we hit $500. It's a huge month for us. November a little bit lower than normal, but December should be another big month. December or January I think is going to be the big month. It just kind of happens the way companies pay out. Sometimes you get big months, sometimes you get lower ones, and the whole point of us kind of putting more money into the covered calls and the higher yield fund is to kind of bring that up a little bit, so we can kind of have more consistently high dividend yields, as well as benefiting from the big quarterly payments and the stock appreciation for some of our growth stocks as well. Total dividends is about 4,414. I guess it'd be 4,424 if we included this month, which we don't. And if we go over to the graph, which I have this crappy little graph here, which is a visual representation of things, we can see that it's been consistent growth, consistently growing over time, and we expect it to keep growing. So it's been super cool. And one last thing I want to show you guys really quickly is I want to give you guys a bird's eye view of our portfolio and show you guys everything, just so everything's a little bit easier to follow. So because one of the big things that I have inside these videos is I show you guys my portfolio, and I have multiple portfolios as well as I have my fiance's portfolio. One of the things that can get a little complicated is kind of getting a overall bird's eye view of our portfolios and everything. So I think I did this the best I could, and I'll update it on a regular basis, maybe like once a month. But I'll show you guys the portfolio values that we have. So I showed you guys my TFSA. I showed you guys my personal account already. The numbers might not be 100% because I think I did this like last week or something like that. But some just quick little things here I want to show you guys. So the TFSA has an annual dividend of $2,512. The yield is about 2.71%, and total return is $8,000. I think it's $11,000 now. Once again, numbers aren't 100% update. They're from last week, but you guys can kind of get an idea here. Personal account was $18,000. Annual income was $782. 4% yield. Obviously, having more Canadian stocks, more covered calls, less of the S&P 500 is going to boost up that yield over time. And then the third thing I actually have here is my employer stock. So if you guys don't know, I mentioned a couple times I work a part-time job as well as doing my YouTube channel. Me and my fiance both kind of enjoy the part-time life, if you will, and that's kind of one of our goals for us. And that's the reason why we focus on dividend stocks, covered calls, as well as growth, because we want to kind of tap into some of our portfolio kind of as time goes on. Maybe not wait till we're like super old or retired. And the reality is you never know if you're going to make it to retirement. That's the truth. So one of the things we want to focus on is to kind of just enjoy life as time goes on, and kind of, instead of having this idea that we just put money away and we don't touch it till later on in our life, kind of, I'm not going to say suffers, but because of the way our situation is, I think it'd be very beneficial for us to kind of over time, encourage saving, be frugal, but just have the benefit to like not have to worry about finances, to not have to worry about working all the time, to not have to worry about like all that financial stuff, and be in a better position to take care of ourselves, both mentally, physically, and all those different things. So I actually work for a part-time Loblaws. If you guys don't know, I work for a company. They have a sponsorship. Not a sponsorship. They have a ESOP, which is like a stock buying program where you can commit, basically put money into the stock. I started doing this, I think it was the beginning of this year. I should have done it earlier. I know it's stupid, but You don't realize these things. So what they do is they let you contribute 5% of your paycheck, and then they match 25%. So you buy Loblaw stock, which is an amazing stock. It's done super well, and you get an automatically 25% return. It's pretty sweet, right? You can't go wrong with it. So this is something, you know, if you work at a job, even if it's just a part-time job or something, take advantage of this because it makes a big difference, especially over time. And it's free money. You might as well take it, right? You could stick it into an RSP. You could stick it into whatever you guys want to do. In fact, that's something I probably should do, but I just keep it as a personal account for now. Anyways, continue on here. Total value of our portfolios of my portfolios is $111,000. Annual income is about $3,000 to $4,000. Once again, guys, this isn't 100% accurate. I know, but I'm trying. I just kind of did some rough numbers, so it's about 3,000. So our annual income is almost our total incomes that I showed you guys earlier. So that's pretty cool. And total return is about $9,000 to I think it was $11,000 or so. Here we have Tamara's portfolio, which is my girlfriend's portfolio or my fiance's portfolio. Not too much going on here. She just has a TFSA. I don't update hers as much because we tend to just check it like once a month kind of thing. So I will have to post an update on that. But together we make about we have about $122,000. So once again, we're trying to work together. We're trying to build things up as a team, and that's the main focus here, and that's been super cool for us. So I just wanted to give you guys a deeper dive and a bird's eye view of my portfolio. I'll update this sheet and make it look a little bit better over time, but it was just something simple to show to you guys. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy it like usual. If you guys have any comments, leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you guys as quickly as possible. Take care. Hope you guys enjoy yourself. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good weekend. Take care. Stay warm. Stay safe. And have yourself a good one. And I'll see you guys later.